thing. Dad
And
should
then
be
the
a
rest.
dad, and mom should be a mom. I told my girl the same thing. When we'll have a child, listen, when I will say something, you will agree to that. I don't want the kid to run to you and say, hey, my dad said no to the freaking buying the sneakers. And then you say, oh, don't worry about it. Here you go. And go buy it.
Yeah.
No, that's direct disrespect to me. Okay? That will never happen. All right? And the same thing, I will never allow my kid to raise his voice on my mom. I mean, my wife.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It will never. So it will be me, okay? Because it's same thing in the Bible, right? Then my wife, then kids.
Yeah.
Okay? I will take care of my wife before I will take care of my kids. I will tell you right away. Because guess what? Kids will grow up. One day you guys will leave. But your dad and mom will stay together.
Yeah.
You don't want them to be
Because they're
just
one flesh,
roommates.
right?
Yeah. You don't want them to just be roommates, okay?
Yeah.
You know, they still have to be a husband and wife. They have to be a best friends.
Yeah.
You know, that's why they have to be for themselves first. And then kids have to see that too. Because this is how it works. When they see why so many people doesn't want to be married, one of the reasons is because they see how their parents live.
Yeah.
Really not good, you know.
They're
So-
traumatized that their life's gonna and their family's gonna look the same way.
Exactly. So they just want to be single and don't have kids and anything. But listen, as much as I will show love and care to my wife, and she will show the same thing, and kids see that, you know, they will want the same thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely, they will
take you
respect that. That's why it's always like a wife gives the husband first the food and stuff, and then the kids. You know, don't get me wrong. Like my dad is in a way, he's in a way that like he will give last thing to us. He will feed us before. If there is nothing left, he will feed us before he will feed himself.
Right.
This is how he is, and I do support that. But if you're doing well in your life and stuff, I want your kids to see that, you know. And you have to be a ruler in a family. You have to be the main guy. And again, I'm not saying you don't have to listen to your wife, because sometimes, damn, they come up with way better things than we.
Yeah.
But you have to be the decision maker, okay? And she has to understand that. Because guess what? Most of the things you do in a family, all right? In a perfect world, how it was supposed to be always, we work, they stay at home, all right?
Perfect world. I like how you said
Yeah, we work, we are
Perfect world.
we are the hunters, we are the protectors, you know, and you keep that warm and like a goodness at home, you know, when we will come back from all the war and scratches and being beat up from the outside life, that we can find the peace at home, you know. And guess what? That will help us to recover from all that madness and next day go back even harder, you know.
Car speaking facts.
Huh?
I love that.
I
You're
mean,
speaking
shit,
facts,
because
bro.
that's what I believe in.
That's why there was no divorce rates back then. They didn't even know what that was.
Thank you. And
Because
now
everything
it's
was
like,
balanced. Now everything's falling apart. That's why there's divorce rates going up. And people don't think about it. They say, oh, like, I don't know why it's happening. I don't know. People are just changing. No, people are not changing. You're changing the very authority that God gave you. That's why everything is falling apart.
and in my
Not because
opinion,
of people.
social
And
media
pride.
does play a very big role in that too. A giant role social media is playing
absolutely.
that. Because now girls advertising like a one thing, like how they get giant roses in cars and this and that, and every girl believes that they deserve the same.
Yeah.
And then we have this weak bastard freaking guys that
We'll
pretty
conform
much,
to that.
yeah, and the girls that OnlyFans or something like that, right? Why do you think so many girls is doing that these days? Why do you think so many girls are half naked on the social media? Because guys helping that. Guys give the
100%.
money. There was one girl, I believe, she showed, oh, this is one of my followers bought me this BMW. It was like a new X6 or something
That's
like that.
crazy.
Like, come on, man. Why do you think they do more and more girls do that? Because we're reinforcing it with all the work we did. We just give that money for free because of their looks.
And all this.
It should not be like that. And then they cry about, why can't I find a normal man? Listen, I'm all about, on the first date, I told my girl, I will die for you. And I didn't meant just for her. In this case, I meant if I will see a woman in distress, I will do my best to take care of that problem. You know what I'm saying? Because it should not be happening. You know? And I don't consider men a man when they raise their hand on a woman.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but this is what I said, and for her, it was a shocker. She's a great girl, don't get me wrong. She's been supporting me because she sees how much madness I've been going through with doing this, starting business, losing my previous opportunity and stuff like that because of certain circumstances and stuff.
Yeah.
But, as for some girls, I might sound being a dictator.
Yeah.
Listen, she loves it because I take care of the most hardest choices,
Yeah.
Right person will understand it, and then somebody
Absolutely.
that's corrupted mindset will not understand it.
And
So
listen,
Deep down,
people,
too.
girls that have not seen this type of life, they will fight you at the beginning till they don't understand that, oh man, he's right. Because I would not mind sitting down home and relaxing, watching TV, or just like don't dealing with this outside crazy world, being a slave of someone for a few dollars an hour,
Yeah.
So, and now it's like a lot of women consider men competition because of that, They
Right.
compete with each other now. And that's why we have so many problems with the divorces, because man cannot put his feet down and girl starts competing with him, and then he's miserable. And a lot of times, actually, men do adjust to the situation and they stay miserable because of the kids and the family, At least that's what statistics are. Because most of the divorces come from a woman saying, I don't feel that love anymore. I'm not happy anymore. Listen, freaking marriage is not happiness all the time, all right? Give it a break. Be responsible a little bit.
One of the things that we've definitely lost and we need to gain back as a society is, hoping for a good family and having a good family. Whether you're a man or a woman, you should desire to start a family, and that should be one of the biggest accomplishments, to be a father and to be a mother, and
Absolutely.
that has to be like, how people think about, I'm going to get $1 million or I'm going to buy my dream car. I think one of the things should be, I want a good family, I want a good wife and kids. If
Absolutely.
that doesn't make you happy, then I don't know if you're really focusing on the right thing in life, what needs to happen first. Before anything else, I'm just saying, like before your goal of being a millionaire and all this and that, I think definitely like one of the goals should be having a relationship with the Lord and then having a family that you will honor.
Absolutely. I do agree with you. And here's the thing too. Now people going to be like, oh shit, God just was like went against women and stuff. And don't get me wrong, women do make most of the decision. You guys can change the world, really, by not going out and partying all the time and doing the right thing, because you cannot sleep around and then hope for a good guy. I would never.
Yeah.
Like look at that type of woman. And same thing with the guys. You're not going to get that good, great girl by living the way you live, all right?
Yeah.
it's a double standard.
Exactly. That's why I don't believe in a red pill. They talking about the masculinity and stuff, and then this guy's calling it toxic masculinity. No, they're just toxic. Thank you very much.
She can stay at home while I go party
Yeah.
with other girls. It's
Yeah,
like,
there is no toxic
talking about?
masculinity. There is a toxicity, and maybe physically strong dudes. He cannot be considered as a toxic
And I
masculinity.
don't believe that
he's
they
just
have-
strong and
Yeah.
toxic. That's it.
Exactly. And I don't even believe that those guys really have good women in their life who they say, oh, I'm just gonna sleep around and all that stuff, and she's still gonna love me. I don't think she loves you. She's just using you.
Pretty
Right?
much.
So
And I will tell you
that's
this.
what it really comes down to. A good woman who values herself and has a relationship with God will no way tolerate that action. No chance. I don't
Exactly.
believe it.
And last thing I want to do ever is being in a position that someone will dare saying, hey, look at that poor girl. She doesn't know that God is going out with someone else. That's disrespecting my woman, and I will never do the things like that
Amen.
to get her to the position like that. Because I disrespect her, I disrespect Lord.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm definitely never going to do that. And you guys have to figure that out. You have to put yourself in a certain standards. If you want something like that, find what you are lagging. Because here is the thing. We both are in wrong here, men and a woman. But men, because we allowed all this nonsense, political correctness, and BS to put us in a position of being weak. And we confirmed. Now we are trying to find ourselves again. That's why I'm glad so many people been joining Orthodoxy, because Orthodoxy does promote masculinity and discipline. And a
100%.
lot of people, been finding themselves this way, and they're going to the right road. All right. So, and the same thing, I'm glad that women finally started opening their eyes up. Okay. And they started understanding what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah.
And some girls, even them being a little bit masculine these days because they went through certain nonsense, they try to back up and say, okay, if I want a masculine guy, I should be feminine because I'm a very masculine dude.
And you know what's crazy? Even if they try to be masculine, they just can't be masculine.
Yeah.
They try to take on this role that it's not fitting for them. Like imagine a guy and trying to be feminized. They lose themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They either go mentally crazy and they become gay, or they start calling themselves some crazy names.
Yeah.
And the same thing with a woman. When they try to become masculine, when they try to say, I want to be like you, Gar, and then you now say, no, I want to be like my wife, you become crazy. You lose yourself, and you can't do that stuff. You need to stay healthy, and a man needs to stay man, and woman needs to stay woman. It's that simple.
Absolutely.
It's not that complicated.
And it's not like we are above women, men are above women, or women above men. No, we all have our place in the world, okay? Because listen, there's a certain things I cannot do, like my second half can,
Exactly.
and she's the same way. If there is some crazy ass trying to like pulling the knife at us, I'm not going to ask my girl, can you please protect me? No. Have a good night. So, you know what I'm saying? That's it.
Yeah.
Like, that's how it's going to be. I'm going to protect her because I'll be damned if I will let anyone touch my woman. I don't care.
Yeah,
So-
to be honest, like one of the best ways I try to explain it to people in a very simplest manner, when they get emotional about the fact that, does that mean that God loves men more than women, or does God promote that, for men to be more valuable and stuff? And this like the best way I tell them is, God made men and women in His image. It says it in Genesis. It's so simple and it's plain and clear. And men and women have the same value in God's eyes. So if God sees that a man is dishonoring the woman, He will protect that woman, and vice versa. Nothing that you will do in your family, such as going behind your wife or the wife going behind the man's back and cheating on them, God sees that. So, God will protect the relationship when you put them in the middle. However, the function that He gave men and women were different. So it's like, let's say you're eating a steak and you have a knife and a fork.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to swap the utensils and try to cut the steak with a fork and eat it with a knife.
Yeah.
You're going to want to cut the steak with a knife and eat it with a fork. So it's, a wife and a husband are like a knife and a fork. Different functions, but both come together to, perform
work.
God's
Awesome.
purpose.
That's great.
That's a great
Yeah,
example.
That's absolutely.
If they don't,
It's like the simplest
if
way.
they don't get, if someone doesn't get that analogy, I don't know what they can get.
Then
honestly.
start eating your
It's the
steak with
simplest
a knife.
Or just spoon.
Or a spoon.
Or like a spork. Or a spork.
Or just grab it with your hand and
Be an animal. So,
And that's
Yeah.
the best way to eat it.